The American Dream. A childlike fantasy of what the United States citizens are to accomplish in their lifespan, much like a gilded outline. The average American begins their life at the age of 5, being thrown into the world of education early. 13 years later, at the age of 18, Americans are to walk the stage, high school diploma in hand. They are to have a clear, perfect understanding of the path that lies ahead of them. At age 18? To further their education, one must throw hundreds of thousands of dollars into a university just to gain another diploma that validates their knowledge and credibility within the professional arena. Following graduation, entering the workforce and working in a relatively similar position until the mid-60s is considered the norm. Once retired, one lives away their life until they're practically lying upon their deathbed. A boilerplate, mediocre life full of people to please and deadlines to meet. Deadlines ultimately define the quality of someone's days. Life, as we know it today in America, has been confined to a prison of our perceptions of what we think life ought to be. Today, the problem lies at the heart of the American society that paints the American dream as something everyone needs to accomplish in order to be accepted in everyday life. To explore this further, we will begin by first envisioning the nightmares brought about by the American dream and the problems that it presents. Then, as we dig through the haze, we will begin to picture the harm the American dream has brought to the average citizen. Finally, we will drift off into a deep daydream about how we can combat this dangerous ideology once and for all. To start, let's begin by envisioning the nightmares brought about by the American dream that have left some individuals restless in their efforts of conformity. Today, we will focus primarily on two key nightmares that have had a detrimental effect on citizens for decades. To begin, the American dream is focused primarily on the acquisition of money and materialistic goods. In the eyes of this ideology, success means earning a lofty salary, owning a lavish picket fence estate, and buying only the finest of products. One must have a job requiring years of prior education and at least a bachelor's degree to validate their knowledge. However, such a ginormous expense is not easily feasible for all. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, it was estimated that the average cost of a private four-year university was $37,600 in 2020 to 2021. Society wants individuals to spend thousands of dollars on education for just a job that they consider to be decent. Debt often results in doing so, which places college students in a predicament. Society has forced students to pour their savings into the education system just so they can maybe gain more money in the future. But when they don't have the money to do so in the first place, these students face a position of turmoil. Wealth has become the focal point of the American society, which has ultimately stripped our citizens of their overall feelings of worth, accomplishment, and their general overall happiness. The second overarching nightmare brought about by the American dream is how it perpetuates society's concentration of wealth within a select handful of individuals. As a result, the American dream is primarily accessible to those in the upper and middle classes. For lower class individuals, college is not always a choice, making them stray away from lifestyles considered the norm. Lower paying jobs often result, which still leave them at the bottom of the class hierarchy. The rich, on the other hand, can flaunt their wealth freely and make even more money by only raising a thumb. Individuals lower in society face degrees of inequality that makes it difficult for them to advance their social position, no matter how much work that they put into their situation. It is the perpetually unemployed, the chronically homeless, the individuals who are denied the most basic of human rights, who find themselves struggling to climb the class ladder. These individuals, in hands with many others, find themselves struggling to create a better life for themselves, therefore destroying the concept of the American dream for those who need it the most. As we dig through the haze of this issue, it is important to note the effects the American dream has had on the common citizen. Overall, this ideology presents an utterly false and unattainable claim that success should be only defined in one uniform fashion. Back in kindergarten, I remember hearing a trillion different ways of how to tie the shoe the right way. However, at the end of the day, we all got to the same result. The bunny went through the hole and our shoes stayed on for the rest of the day. Similar can be said for the idea of success. There should not be one uniform way to define it because success for one individual could be completely different from how their neighbor views it. Trying to fit a socially indoctrinated standard that only encompasses one idea of what it means to be successful has been seen to have a detrimental effect on citizens who are not able to meet such demanding requirements. From data collected by the United States Census Bureau in 2019, it was estimated that around 13 million U.S. workers have more than one job. This means that 13 million workers have to work multiple shifts in various different careers just to make ends meet. 13 million individuals are forced to sacrifice their sleep, their time with their families, their mental well-being, just to make enough money to survive in the 21st century American society. The American dream puts so much emphasis on idolizing hard work under the idea that it will bring you success, but these individuals are working on merely enough to get by. With this in mind, even being the wealthiest of wealthies does not always guarantee you the benefit of happiness. Within the novel The Great Gatsby, the main character, Jay Gatsby, is an extremely lavish man, making the most money and having an extremely over-the-top lifestyle. However, Arthur Fitzgerald paints the story upon Gatsby's downfall upon the fact that he was always working on something better than himself. Essentially, the American dream has no end. The wealthiest will only try to continue to get wealthier, while those lower in society will continue to struggle even when they're the ones doing the greatest amount of work. The level of socioeconomic divide has grown in this nation with the rise of this ideology, and it will only continue to increase the more it is engraved into our day-to-day lives. With this issue on our minds, let's present some ways that we can combat the power of the American dream within our daily lives. With the acronym WISH, let's look at the way both you and I can start to fight against this scheme that we might be feeding into without even realizing it. Starting off with the W, let's wake up from the fact that success should not be defined in one uniform fashion. Each and every one of us here in this room have a different means of feeling accomplished. Whether that's getting an A on the project you spent months preparing, standing up in front of your peers and giving a speech, getting that promotion from your boss, or even just getting out of bed in the morning, feel good about your accomplishments. Because all of these together will help you bring about your true potential. Moving on to I, inspire others to share their stories of success, especially those of marginalized communities. With this, see how others have found their success outside of the constraints of the American dream. It is then our eyes will truly open to the variety of trajectories we can place our life upon to reach our goals. Moving on, the S stands for show others that success does not have to be boilerplate. Break away from the idea of the white picket fence life and rather paint the image for yourself instead. Finally, H represents hope. Communicate messages of hope for those who may be struggling to find their ideas of success, especially those of marginalized communities and those who are often suppressed within societies. After all, collective community support can really come a long way, as we have all seen with the COVID-19 pandemic. With these 4 key principles, let's wish for a way that we can reach into a better tomorrow, unshackled from the constraints of the American dream. In our time today, we have taken a ride through the problems caused by the American dream, laid out the effects this ideology has presented, and laid out 4 ways we can wish for a better tomorrow unshackled from the ideas of the American dream. Let's shift away from what high school students want to major in so early on, and rather on their general interests. Take the pressure away of getting into a highly ranked college and praise going to the community college or into the workforce. America should not be a place where we have to meet the demands of others. Together, let's transform the American dream from a boilerplate outline into a celebration of the brilliant success stories of not only you and me, but everyone who calls the United States their home. Thank you.